basically like, don't kill yourself, find God. The more of a very specific headache all of us were getting. And it turns out that plastic bag is ripped and it just dumps ashes on me. So my first big job, I was sent out to the middle of nowhere, a house in the woods. The next house, literally miles away. We were sent out there to do a self-unaliving. It was a classic toaster in the bathtub scenario. The owner of the home would rent that home out to her sister, and the owner went on vacation for a month. When she came back, the sister that lived in the home was in the bathtub. It smelled bad. It was awful. I still haven't smelled anything this bad. Even after a year of doing crime scene cleanup, I haven't had anything near as bad as this one smell. It was summer vacation, so it was hot. The AC was not on. You can smell it straight through your mask and straight through your filters. Change the filters, it still smells awful. You can smell it on your clothing, even when you wear a full suit and everything. So we were going to clean the bathtub, and everything in it is a liquid soup. It's not great. It's really just a soup with multiple layers of soupiness. Inside or around the bathtub in the bathroom, there were a multitude of shovels, 3 or 4 shovels. We are very sure that they tried to use these shovels to scoop the body out. It was pretty clear that it was such a gross mess, no one wanted to handle the body, so they just used shovels instead. They're clearly just shovels they found outside. So these shovels were covered in the soupy goopy mess. And there's a trash picker-upper grabber thing. There was one of those, but it was covered in scalp and hair, and it was in the sink of the bathroom. So it looks like they tried to grab her body with shovels, and they tried to grab her head with the trash grabber. It was not pretty. Her scalp, it was very clear she was deteriorating a lot. Because her skin and her hair was just smeared everywhere. Clearly using shovels didn't go well. I'm pretty sure when they tried to lift her up, part of her body just started coming apart based on just how things were smeared around the walls of the bathtub. So when we decided to clean it up, we have a product called Super Sorb. It reminds me a lot of cat litter. You pour this powder in, and then it hardens, except unlike cat litter, which turns into a hard crystal, the Super Sorb will turn into more like Jell-O. We bring many boxes. As we start pouring it in, we let the Super Sorb soak in as much as it can. And we can't stand being in there, even fully suited up. It was just awful. So we put in that Super Sorb as much as we can. Then we just went outside to breathe anything that's not awful air. We come back to it and we start scooping. We have a couple Home Depot buckets and we're scooping up the bathtub. Some of it's liquid. A good amount of it is now a gelatinous kind of thickness. But there's still multiple layers of thickness in this soup even before we added the Super Sorb. Something we noticed was the more we scoop, the worse the smell gets, and the more of a very specific headache all of us were getting. And most of us were very close to throwing up. Which, even when as the new guy, I just figured this is my life. This is going to be awful, but okay, I'm already doing this job. But the experienced guys that were there before me all felt like they were going to throw up, and we're all like close to passing out the more we stir the bathtub around. And they kind of had a theory that there was with these multiple layers of soup in the bathtub, that there's probably a mixture of ammonia on the bottom layers, and as we scoop and stir it up, it releases that ammonia into the air, which is why we're probably getting all a very specific headache that I guess is similar to ammonia. So that was not great. We had to take turns almost every single scoop. We'd go in, scoop a little bit, put it in a biohazard trash bin that we have, and then we would go outside or go out of the bathroom into the master bedroom and just kind of sit there and rethink our career path. It took us all day just to scoop some stuff out of a bathtub. It was bad. We were going to remove the bathtub, but the bathtub itself was anchored to concrete, both in the structure and there's concrete in the walls. And we didn't have the tools to remove metal rebar that is supporting this bathtub. We don't know why it was built like that, but it was clearly built to last forever. So instead, we coated the bathtub in, I think, epoxy or some type of sealant, so the smell, even after you scrub it, the smell was much better. But we wanted to make it safe for a plumber or someone that knows how to remove bathtubs that are anchored to concrete. We ended up clearing the master bedroom. I was going through the personal possessions, organizing what goes in the garbage, what goes to the homeowner. Everything has the smell of death all over everything in that bedroom. There was a multitude of, I guess, suicide note rough drafts. It seemed like this person was already planning suicide and had probably attempted it before, because we would find correspondence between the two. Basically, like, don't kill yourself, find God, that kind of stuff. And clearly that didn't work out. It seemed like the person that died held out for a couple of years. But it seems like drugs were probably involved. I did, I think the ashes of a dog, it just dumped on me. There's little ceramic cases. I opened them up, and inside's another ceramic case, but it's more, I guess, more like a vase. I opened that up, and then a little plastic bag comes out, and it turns out that plastic bag is ripped, and it just dumps ashes on me. I was able to scoop most of it back up and put it in the bag that's ripped and kind of shove it back in there. And then I would place that off to the side, because they probably want to keep it, I would assume. I don't know. If not, they can throw it away. But that was a general synopsis of the smelliest job I've ever done. It's my first bathtub job as a crime scene cleaner. I'm almost at 1 year of crime scene cleaning. Hooray for me. Yeah, okay, that's all. Goodbye.